I've had the pleasure to get to know 6 of the finest patriots that I've ever met in the last 9 months on the campaign trail, with the people standing behind me, Jim McKelvey and Ron Farron, who aren't here. And I've learned, I've never been in politics before, and one thing I've learned in 9 months, and my friend Robert here probably already knows, that politics can be dirty business. Now, when I look at all the candidates, I think I am the one to go up against Tom Perriello and beat him the most handily. And I'm convinced of that. There's one candidate who's running who I do not believe has a chance of winning. And it's my good friend Robert Hurt. Not that Robert couldn't trounce Tom Perriello if it was fair and it was one-on-one, head-to-head competition, but it's not. Because if Robert gets the nomination, there's an independent named Jeff Clark in Danville who's going to run as an independent and will probably be able to strip away 5 or 6% of the vote, assuring that Tom Perriello will win the next election. Is that fair? No. Is it right? Probably not. But it is what it is. Politics, like I said, can be nasty business. I want you to think about that when you go to the polls on June 8th. What we want to do is send a candidate that can beat Tom Perriello. I am that candidate. I'm Mike McPadden. I sure would appreciate your vote on June 8th, vote. Thank you very much.
Ms. Reagan and just the conservative principles that Reagan stood on. And real quick on the Republican Party platform, not all aspects of it are good and true and we want to support, but your basic core principles are good. I stand on principle, though, over party. I have all the years that I've been involved in the Republican Party process, and we have to stand on principles that are true, right, and good for the American people. It can't be about the Democrats or about the Republicans. All this infighting that we've seen over the past few years has just destroyed America. We can't get anything passed that's good for America anymore. And we now have a government in there that really isn't looking after the interests of the people. Now, Ronald Reagan said government is not the solution to the problem, government is the problem. And we see that, and we know that that's true. My message of life, liberty, and opportunity is what I bring to you here in the 5th District. That I will stand up and fight for life from conception to natural death. That I will defend and fight your constitutional fight for your constitutional liberties, whether it's First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth, Fifth, Ninth, 10th, and particularly 10th Amendment I really love, because that's where Arizona and Texas and Virginia and all of our states are going to have to stand to cow down this federal government that is so intrusive into our lives, our homes, our businesses. Every part of our life right now is being overregulated by an intrusive federal government. And we
That's something else I want to say. God love the Tea Party movement. This has been such a great thing. As we travel around this district, and everybody here will say, there's so much enthusiasm. You know, I've won 3 elections and I've never seen this kind of enthusiasm. And we're seeing this election coming. By the way, that's 2 more than Perriello has won. And I'm going to keep that record going too. I do think that I'm the right person. Now, I'm from this area, and most of you people know me because you've seen me, because I've been on the Board of Supervisors and the school board here for a long time. You know what I stand for, and you know how I've stood up and fought when it's been necessary to do it. If you remember when your property rights were, those who live in Albemarle County, your property rights were under attack from those liberals on our board who wanted to say they should be able to tell you what you can do with your property, that you shouldn't be able to tell you what you do. We gathered the people together, we flooded the auditorium, we stood up against it, and we got that turned back. Now, this is the kind of thing, this is the kind of congressman that you're going to need in Washington, D.C. You're going to need somebody who has the record of sitting down and negotiating with people and changing them to our way of thinking. Because you've got to remember, there's 535 people in Washington, and you've got to get a majority of them to agree with the core principles that you have. I'm probably the only person up here that's had to sit down and get people to agree that our way, conservative, smaller government, lower taxes, is the best way to go. And that's the kind of, that's the way you really got to go when you go up to Washington. You got to have somebody who has the ability to first of all stand up to them, as I've done here for the last 11 years, and then to change their minds and make them realize that the best thing to do for this country is to make our government smaller. And the best thing we can do is stop this juggernaut spendthrift that's going on in Washington, D.C. We absolutely have to stop that. We have to turn back the tide, or we're going to lose this country. This is an important race, not just here in Virginia, the 5th District, but all over the country. I ask for your vote on June 8th. Thank you very much for having me.
And we really appreciate that you come here and listen to us. This election is more important than any individual in the room. So I will first start to say that if Robert wins the nomination, and Jeff Clark hinders our ability to beat Tom Perriello, sorry Evan, I will stand up with Robert and fight for the Republicans to win this race. Because the most important thing is to get Tom Perriello out of Congress. He has made 4 of the worst votes in the history of the United States. We know what they are. Stimulus package, health care, cap and trade, and the permanent taxes of the state taxes. We cannot afford to have him in office. Ladies and gentlemen, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Well, the reason I'm running is that I haven't had to stand down Democrats before, like Mr. Boyd, but what I've had to do in some very, very strenuous business circumstances is fix businesses and build businesses, reach consensus, and work very hard to achieve goals. That has been hundreds of employees and hundreds of millions of dollars of fighting for the right thing. I have made a pledge that you can all read, or we have it here. I had signed a contract, a written word with the people of 5th District, how I will govern if I'm in office. Thousands of people have this. So my word is sealed. That is what I put on contracts in business. That's what I will do in Washington, D.C. if I am elected. Thank you again for coming tonight, and God bless you.
There probably isn't one piece of chalk on the highway you guys don't know from driving around and everything, so thank you very much for coming. Also want to again thank Mr. McKelvey and Mr. Fair who came to our last meeting. As far as the straw poll is concerned, as I said, because it's a little different because we have 2 candidates that weren't here tonight, and also we didn't have all 7 at the same time. So I'm not going to announce specific numbers. I don't see any purpose in doing that, but I am going to kind of announce order of strength 1 through 8, okay? Don't read a whole lot into this. I mean, polls is a rule, but enough folks wanted me to do one that I capitulated and said, okay. So as far as the poll was concerned, other sheet, Carol. There we go. We had 104 respondents. First place in votes was Michael McPadden. Second place in votes was Robert Hurt. Third place in votes was undecided, which is interesting. Well, you know, and I think, I don't know the validity of the poll, but there was a poll done this week where I think it said about 48% of the respondents were decided. That means this isn't over yet. And some of you also, you know, just still don't know. So, you know, please make a decision and vote on June 8th. 4th place we had Ken Boyd, 5th Laurence, 6th Jim McKelvey, 7 Feda, and 8 Ron. But that's just 1 room, 1 night, but that's how it went out. A couple of quick things and then we will wrap up on time.